Don't wait. Don't wait till I die.
Don't wait, yeah.
Don't wait.
Don't wait, my brother, don't wait.
Don't wait.
My sister, don't wait.
Don't wait. Don't wait till I
I'm in the hospital, don't wait.
Don't wait.
I'm dying, don't wait.
Don't wait.
I need your help, don't wait.
Don't wait. Don't wait till I die.
Please help me, don't wait.
Don't wait.
Don't wait, don't wait, don't wait.
Don't wait.
I need you help me now,
Don't wait. Don't wait till I die.
Don't wait till I die before you help me. If you want to help me right now. Don't wait, oh sister, don't wait. I said don't wait, my brethren, don't wait. Don't wait till I die before you help me. I need your help. Help me right now. I'm in the hospital, lying on my sick bed. I just need you to help me one my life, and Jehovah will bless you. Don't wait till I die to rain cast and get my body to the grave. I said don't wait when I die before you praise me. Don't wait when I die to cry for me, man. Oh, don't wait when I die to post my photo. This woman was so sick. She was saying got up on her day. I said she went from place to place, but she could not get the treatment she needed. Finally, her son took her to the hospital. In the doctor said they should bring 5 pounds of blood. But this woman could not afford the money. Oh yeah, even her son could not afford the money. He left the mother at the hospital. He went to family member. He went to Uncle Johnny place. He said, Uncle, my mother is at you. I left my mother at the hospital. And the doctor said, we should bring 5 pounds of blood. Uncle, please help my mother. Uncle, help my mother. Uncle, I beg you, help my mother. Please help my mother. Oh, uncle, help her before she dies. Johnny looked in her face. He said, my son, I don't have no money, oh. My son, no money, oh. What tell your mama say? I don't have no money, oh. I will see what to do. But next week, my son, no money, oh. He went to Auntie Esther's place. He said, Auntie, my mother is dying. I left my mother at the hospital, and the doctor said we should bring 5 pounds of blood. I have come to beg you, Auntie, help my mother. Auntie, please help my mother. Oh, Auntie, help her before she died. Yes, I woke up, entered the house. She brought 500 from her money. She said, my son, I wish you well. I wish you well. Go tell your mama, say, I wish her well. He left, he went to Uncle Papa's place. Papa was so rich. He was rich, he have everything to his disposal. He said, Uncle, my mother is at you. I left my mother at the hospital. And the doctor said, we should bring Papa no blood. Uncle, please, don't allow my mother to die. Uncle, please, don't allow mama to die. Oh, you are my last hope, my last strength, my last hope. Uncle, please, don't allow mama to die. What's to die? You look in your head. He looked at the boy. He shrugged his head. He said, my son, I don't have money. You. I'm getting my salary by next month, oh, my son. I don't have money. You. Go tell your mama, say, I bet you a condition. The boy left. He started crying. He said, oh God, Papa God, this life is not fair. What will not become of my mother? Who would I call my mother? Before he reached out the hospital, his mother was gone. He took his phone. He started calling Uncle Paul. He was crying, Uncle Paul, Mama is no more. Mama is gone, and left alone. Mama is gone, no. Oh, Uncle Paul, Mama is no more. He said, sorry, my son, don't worry. Oh. I'm sending her to take her to the funeral. Don't worry, my son, I'm responsible for a funeral. My son, don't worry. Oh. I'm responsible for wakekeeping. Oh, my son, keep courage, don't worry. As I said, I will do the dressing. And then Johnny said, I will do the rain. Oh, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Oh, yeah, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die.
All right. Good evening, folks. Welcome to the show. I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Thank you for being here this evening. I'm Alfonso Zienso. Welcome to the show. This is Lpr-Tv Live and the Panelists. All right. Don't wait. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your evening with us here, right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. I am Alfonso Zienso. I was off yesterday, and the laborer was having a great time by himself and doing whatever he thinks that he's good at doing, running the show and doing exactly. We want to welcome you. It's 8:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here from the New England Bureau. To Richard, Fofana, Atot, the Honorable William K. Glaze, Sunions, a former representative of Granger County. Good evening, to welcome. Thank you for always sharing your evening with us. Right here, Isaac George Shelton, right hand, and our man from North Carolina. No, not Contona, but this is just a Benna. Benna is also our guy here. Joe, good evening to welcome Abdul, and of course, Dr. George Toto, who is a senior contributor and analyst of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your evening with us. Very shortly, they will be in the house of LPR and the ball will get rolling. In the meantime, let's take this commercial and we'll be right back.
Welcome to 5
fabric queen off of Woodland. Everyone that's looking for a nice African for wedding, whatever fabric you need, you can just come over here. You have all this nice stuff. If you need a Chevy, you guys can come over here for baby shower, for wedding. You guys are welcome. She had really nice stuff. You can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then Nicole will be telling you all kind of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fabric you're looking for and match it for the men. And, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and Ashobi hand ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fabric Queen on 6695 off of Woodland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome, 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 welcome. You have nice stuff here for ladies, for men, for kids, and for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia is 100% African-owned business. At Fabric Queen, we are specialized in high-quality wax product, Swiss lace, jewelry, and beauty products that will make you shine like the queen of fabrics. We are located at 6625 on Woodland Avenue, 10 Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-800-0228. Tell the management of Fabrics Queens in Philadelphia is easy and salt of the Liberia Public Radio gives you this message. Tell all Akwaba.
Specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events, such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, schools, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786.
Okay, let's see here.
Or 916.
Okay, good evening, folks. Welcome. I'm Afonso Ziansot of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing this beautiful Tuesday evening with us right here. At our time check here is 8:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the Liberia Public Radio. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Welcome to the show, and let's have a conversation. Good evening. I am Afonso Ziansot of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your evening to your morning, afternoon, depending your location, wherever you are. It's always good to have you here. It is because of you we are here, and there's no way that we can disappoint you. I don't care how tough and we are squeezed against time. It's better late than never. We will be here at all times to keep the schedule current, simply because we believe in you, and you equally or proportionally also believe in us. So there's no way that we can just let this conversation to slip by, despite all of the major happenings in the country. I want to thank you so much for sharing your evening with us. As usual, hopefully the panel is going to be here to take on a wide range of issues in the country and some of the news making headlines. As usual, we want to keep it proportional, fair, balanced, and objective, and allow you, to the audience, the viewers, your comments, your tweet, your agreement and disagreement with us, simply because we are all in it for the good of the country. And unless we can all respect the views and opinions of every Liberian, no matter of their political attachments or affiliation, what they believe in, they have the right. It is within our purview that we can persuade the conversations into our column. And this is what is always lacking, for which we are having headache of having these sort of conversation. But right here on LPR, you are at liberty. All we call for is civility, civil conversations, with the hope of us finding common grounds in some of these challenges facing our country. And that, of course, just a little bit reminder, the rule of the game on this network. We don't insult. We replace insult with intellectual engagement. We open the minds of people. We allow you disagree with me. You can disabuse me. That's no big deal. It's no problem. You have the right to call me what you strongly believe I am. Does that make me to be the person that I am? Absolutely not. But your views and opinions must be respected as long as it is done in a civil context. Challenge our talking point. Prove us wrong. Those are the conversations we want to hear. We are not here to shove or force something down in the throat of people. That's not a conversation. We strongly believe everything, no one should be left behind in the discussions of the motherland, the Republic of Liberia. That has been the problem. That is the problem. Very few feel or think that they should have the conversations to their fingertip. It is wrong, it is unacceptable, and we should not encourage that, not even to allow the politicians and those that are seeking state power to be the driving force of the conversation. Because they will or might not get on those critical issues. They will want to get away. And equally, the media stands as the conduit between the electorate or the citizenry and the government should also be fair, transparent, no innuendos, no falsehood, no subliminal messages. Do not take side. Give everybody the opportunity. Do not be judgmental. There are basic principles that are guarded. However, the field is a very crowded field nowadays. You know, I know. So they are commentators. They are propagandists. They are those who, doing the public relations aspect, there to tweet and reconstruct the message or messages of their party or whatever they believe in. So depending where you lend your ears, depending where you find yourself, the talking point will be different because they are there to do something specific. But by the nomenclature of our institution, we tend to make it more proportional, giving everyone to call in, disagree with us, express your thoughts, your views, your opinions, and allow us to express ours. We are not judgmental on this network, and we will never be until you prove yourself wrong. All right. This is what LPR is all about. Interestingly, if this is the first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome on this network. You can follow us via Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and our LinkedIn page. Look for on the Facebook, look for Liberia Public Radio. Go to one of the video. You're going to see an icon with a bell. Click on that bell and there will be a drop-down button. And you want to click all notifications. That will allow you to get a signal. LPR is live right here in the USA, in Liberia, or other parts, to be able to get part of what is happening. I am Alfonso Zienso. Good evening and welcome to the show. Let's get a ball rolling here. And very shortly, the panelists will be right here as well, and we will have the conversations here as usual, making the news fair, balanced, and proportionate. Let's get a ball rolling. is Lpr Liberia Public Radio. Thank you so much and welcome. What we can now confirm, hopefully the group will be joining us here. We're going to be having an issue. What is going on inside Liberia on the political scene? And as you know, the recent news that was brought here regarding the closure of the consulate in Minnesota, we can now say, confirm with the information that we are getting. The delegates, high-powered government delegations expected, and there will be a major meeting this weekend in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The organizations of Liberians in Minnesota, OLM, and the entire Liberian community. We cannot confirm that this meeting is going to be taking place this coming Saturday. We now know 2 senior government officials will be in attendance to have this meeting. It is unclear how this meeting will end. It is not, we yet to still confirm whether there has been a backyard conversation with respect to this. But all eyes, this is something that's paying the heads of every Liberian recently when the GOL took that decision. How did the GOL came to that point? Well, LPR is doing everything possible it can to form part of that conversation, to give you a sense what's going to be happening and the conversation that is expected to unfold. So hold on to 1 second. The Liberal is here. He was having a fun time yesterday in my absence. And he was all over the place seeking approval as to whether he was doing good. I expressed my view. This is what he good at. For him, he is selective of people comments. The comments that are the type of Donald Trump that gives him praises, those are the comments he always pick and read. And then he puts his shoulder in the air. I am the best. I express my view, my opinion. He saw it on purpose. He ignored it. He decided not to mention it because it's not to his taste. This is how these guys who are radio hosts and anchor who get a political peg. They don't tell you the bad side of their guys. Everything is good. And all the involving is blame game. But he's here this evening for Sacramento. I'm saying it and I'm going to bring in. Let me bring in here this evening here. The Liberal Progressive, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. So. Thank you for having us again.
Yeah. Oh man, I got caught up yesterday. I couldn't sit in, but I can tell you, I watched the show from start to finish, but it was one of the best I ever seen. Nice commentary, good, excellent talking point. It wasn't a Liberal that I know. More or less yesterday, you were fair, balanced.
Mr. So, there is no kumbaya here this evening. Please don't try to coddle me. Don't try to somehow try to be friend with me. There's no friendship here. We're not here for friendship business. What I did yesterday was the bottom of my heart was the Liberal view. And so for you to come down and say, well, I didn't see. No, Liberal were all over this stuff yesterday, Mr. So the fact that you and the Central Right were absent, and I started calling you guys out, and then at the 5 minutes before closing, the Central Right showed himself, and I simply just told him this is not a platform where people gonna come here and go with their conservative ideas and expect us to just sit back. No, with the Liberal, we're here, and we will make our voice clear to anybody that Mr. So, the Liberal is on the floor, please. One thing I want you to know and the audience, I'm not here for kumbaya here. I'm here for truthfulness, and I believe the audience love me, Mr. So.
The audience love you. For so long, you drew the red line that it never going to happen, including you and a Minnesota politician who support the candidacy of Tiawonse Gonglo. That is never going to happen. But I got a big surprise for you. The ruling establishment, the Congress for Democratic Change, National Cheerleader, is joining us. For long, she's been watching. They say, oh, CDC can't come. CDC can't come. Alfonso, I have followed LPR. The Liberal soundbite read me, boyka, I am coming in to balance, to square it out. So, Madam Constant Dopo is the national cheerleader of the ruling establishment, the Congress for Democratic Change. She will be contributing here. So, although you yam, 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 the big elephant is in the room. So let me go out and bring in the national cheerleaders of the Congress for Democratic Change, and a constant to be here this event will be contributing here as well. Okay, so just put it up a little bit. If you can load the volume, if you listen to other device. Okay, there you go. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so if you have a device there, just load it. Okay. Now the liberal now is stung. He's frozen like a fish from the coast.
Good.
He had to play here. He had to play here total wish. Okay. All right, guys. Good evening, Madam Chair Lady. Thank you so much for coming. I know we've been having this conversation behind the scene, and what we taught here at LPR is to give everybody the fair share to be able to explain themselves, institution, political party, political leaders that share their political ideology. It's important that we have that. His guy, he's texting now for his man, then the man from the far right who is the ANC guy, Amos George. He see that? He taking a phone to be testing a guy and say, oh, he put a phone down. Okay, Madam Duoputa, good evening and welcome. Good to have you here on the Liberia Public Radio. As a matter of fact, you've been here before. This is not your first time. And so, oh man, all of them, my goodness, they all coming. Beware, these guys, they are from conspiracy. I'm telling you. Do you have any device on there, something that you can load? Yeah, we're not hearing you. Just maybe you just need to load the. If there's other thing that you're listening to, you just got to like get the volume down to the lowest and then unmute yourself. Okay, Dr. Joyce Toto is LPR political analyst. The liberal progressive is here. He's confused, diffused, diffused, everything here. Okay, let me give Madam Duoput a chance. By the way, she's going to be with us here Tuesday, and as time goes by, they're going to be here to represent and to argue the points of the party that she supports and the president. So we all get a square out. The equal no party. Along the yummy, the liberal, who are this is a big surprise. Let me go to Madam Duopo here to welcome. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you, Alfonso, for having me. I'm really glad to be here tonight, and I hope my fellow countrymen and myself tonight will be able to unpack and discuss the issues. I believe that my government, the CDC-led government, is the way forward. And so I'm here tonight to promote my institution and the President of Liberia.
Yeah, well, if you could just lower your monitor a little bit, perhaps it will help us. It's still not audible enough.
There's a monitor on something on the giving a feedback, so maybe if you can just.
I don't have anything on, but let me see. Maybe I can go leave and come back and see.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, probably. Let's do it because we're getting the alcohol. So let me just get you on. Okay, Dr. Joyce Toto.
Yeah, Alfonso.
Since the departure of Professor Asese Lagbozalo, what this guy is doing now, he's trying to find name for this lady. Trust me, before the night comes to an end, he will find some sort of attachment for this lady. If not this night, he would perhaps, it's nothing guaranteed with the liberal. Maybe you want to be nice tonight, but I guarantee in the second phase, he will visit his diary. But let's just come in here. Good evening.
But that'll be good. I stand with the liberal on that because she's she is for the opposite side of me, so I'm not going to give her good face also too. I'm going to give her some tough question.
Oh, guys, can we be nice the first day, please? Why you want to form coalition with the liberal? Is that a good thing? Are you? It's not a
The
risk.
liberal, I will share a lot of similarity. We are all in the opposition bloc. That's why he lead to the people that he know, Omer Boyka, and I lead a different person. But we all, at the end of the day, we all want for a job. We ought to be out.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
Good.
okay.
Yes, let's try that. Welcome.
Yes.
I want to also say, Madam, welcome, CDC chair lady, welcome. And we really, to be honest with you, from the bottom of my heart, we really appreciate you coming out here because for a very long time, we've been wondering, since CDC professor left us, we've been wondering when another CDCian will come and join us. But did you say CDC, the failed government chair lady? Is that what you're representing? Should we say? But anyhow, the night is very young. We'll get to
Let
that.
me introduce myself properly.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
again, yeah. Again, we'll go through that. But at the party you represent, for me, it's a genuine party. They didn't come to you. People didn't come to this position through the back door. You knock to the door, and the Liberian people open the door for you. So that's settled. But however, Madam. It's going to be a very interesting conversation, to be honest with you, because we're here on Liberian Public Radio. This is an intellectual platform where we try to engage each other positively, that is. But we will also be truthful in this type of process of engagement. And I want to welcome you.
Thank
Yep.
you very much for having me, and I look forward to a very fruitful and productive discussion tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Let me also welcome you, Madam Chair, to the discussion. First, let me just say, no, I know your husband very well. He's a very good friend of mine. And me and myself, nobody has sometimes a very good discussion.
Okay.
So welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. George Toto.
Don't take their welcome for granted. I'm telling you, these guys.
I'm up to the task. I'm representing a progressive political institution. I can defend my thoughts, I can defend my institution, and I will be able to speak to them hopefully tonight. Maybe Dr. Tuta will cross over and join the CDC, or even Mr. To. I will not be surprised because I think they are misleading the public. Uh, and tonight I'm here to give the facts and let the Liberian people judge us.
Definitely.
Let's get it going. Okay, keeping the news balanced, fair, and objective. And by the way, she will be joining us here Tuesday with hopefully to squeeze time, then she can make other time. And Madam Chair Lady, thank you so much. We've been having this because it's about the country. We think everybody should be here. We agree or disagree. And just so you know, there are other three ladies also as a panelist here. So we're not just going to throw you in the lion's den, but you are capable of doing that. Well, let's start a conversation going. We can now say recently, and the governor of Liberia, took there was a stand which calls for the closure, or they're going to closing up the consulate office in Minnesota. And there was a lot of conversation around the organizations of Liberian in Minnesota, the Liberian community in Minnesota, with other organizations. I believe they got involved. And in fact, we were told in her absence, she was aggressively involved in that process. We now know this meeting going to be taking place this coming Saturday, a major town hall meeting, according to confirmation that we got. And we are making preparation to also form part of that. Let me get her into this whole phrase that she has unveiled herself. So Madam Chair, how this happened? You are based in Minnesota. What are you hearing from your government? What prompted that decision? Do you have an idea?
Thank you very much. I'm not a spokesperson of the Government Republic of Liberia. I just want to make it clear here. I am the chairman of CDC USA. I also form part of the community. So, whatever prompted the decision, I'm not aware of that. I know they have the letter that was written to the consulate, not only to the consulate in Minnesota, but also I saw a communication from the lady in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. So there are so many factors. But what drew my attention is that we have the Liberian population in Minnesota, which is over 40,000. And this consulate does not only serve Minnesotans, but we talk about North Dakota, we talk about Iowa and other surrounding states closer to Minnesota. So, however, upon receiving that message and the news that the consulate will be closed and until time indefinite or whatever the terminology was, as a political institution, our citizens, the government, remember, we were elected by the people, the government of the people. And you have seen the efforts that the President of the Republic of Liberia has made when it comes to Liberians in the diaspora. Every time he visits, he will try to meet with his citizens. So we came up, we called the parties involved, those that were handling the situation in the community. We learned that they were going to protest, and we didn't think at this time protesting would be the right thing to do. We are closer to 2023, October 10th. We have our elders that will be going to Liberia. We have our citizens that will be going to Liberia. So we call people that we needed to speak to, and we asked that they try to intervene immediately to not create any further, issue. We don't want people protesting in the United States about, consulate. And that service is very, very vital as we approach 2023 elections. People will need a visa, people will need a passport. So we issue a statement asking the authority, the parties involved, asking the people in Minnesota to be calm while the government Republic of Liberia, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will look into the matter. And immediately after the discussion, people had meetings and they extended it to 3 months. As you are well, there will be a discussion or town hall meeting that will be here pretty soon in Minnesota. The delegates from Liberia, I think they are here already.
Okay. Okay, guys, here we are, the delegation here already. We had this conversation before. I'm not sure what it will profit of, but we need to know how this decision came about. And hopefully, what will be the outcome of this conversation that is expected to take place this Sunday? Dr. Toto, let me just bring you here. You heard the chair lady, and she was practically clear. She's not a spokesperson for the government of Liberia. You were here when one of our panelists said she was also involved in the conversations. Let's drive through this whole thing here. What are we anticipating? What do you think the GOL is coming with right now? Unmute your mic.
I think the chair that spoke very well on the topic. The government delegation is in the country. We hope to hear from them what they're going to bring. As she already stated, the council in Minnesota serve a huge population of Liberians in the diaspora. And you talk about major event coming on Liberia, election time, people be traveling to go back, the voter registration process, and things. And so you talk about huge population. And like we discussed on the show the last time, in fact, I already prompt the government of Liberia said you want to take that decision. If I were in that town hall meeting, people may say, you don't need to go back and also I will ask that question. We need to get some clarity. Why the government should try to take such a decision, what this or politically motivated something was the people that work in the council, were they working along with the government? So we need to find out all these things. Was a council? Because we made a lot of rumors out there. We made a lot of rumors that people that work in the council were not sedition. They were meeting the opposition side, and that's the reason why the government taking the decision for to get rid of them. So those are all things that say hang in the air here. But I'm glad they are here. With the outcry of the community, that we applauded the community last time for taking a huge step, to resolve the issue. And now the government saw the need. They sent a delegate to discuss the issue. That's a huge factor in resolving the issue. So we look and see how the town hall meeting going to play out.
The Liberal.
Yes, Mr. So.
Is it been seen or viewed as a political plot, or what was the essence of that decision, you think?
Mr. So, why are you guys acting surprised as though you don't know who CDC is and what they do the best? Why would we be surprised? Sedition and CDC, this is who they are. They are unable to actually engage before making serious decisions. This thing been going, I've been saying this over and over. It's just a matter of time. If CDC will do something good here that people start praising, it won't take long before they put their foot in their mouth. This thing here, for me, you don't even have to go anywhere else to look for answer. Come to the Liberal. I will tell you this. There's two things here that I suspect. And I could be wrong, but there's two things here that I suspect. The first one is this. They have the same behavior back in Liberia, by the way, where immediately after the election, they started cleaning house, they call it. If you're not sedition, you won't have place in here. And so I'm not surprised. But here's the most interesting thing here. And this, I'm a little bit taken aback because the sedition that are closer to President Weah, those who are involved in whatever decision that is being made, most of them study here in the United States. And they know the Liberian diaspora. These are not people that you come and push them over. There was the consular business is something that the community get involved. Okay? So the community, they get involved and they put good word for whoever they're going to select. But for them to come out without even asking the Liberian community in Minnesota to say this is our intention. This is the government Republic of Liberia. This is not government Republic of CDC.
No, hold on one second.
Mr. So the Liberal is speaking. Why are you gonna hold me? Don't hold me. Let me finish my point, please. This is ridiculous, and let me be ridiculous on replying to a ridiculous behavior. So please don't stop me. This thing here, first thing is this. If these people were to ask the Minnesota community and get them involved, I think they would have got something better coming out. But because election coming, they want to make themselves relevant, which they because of their inept behavior, because they are unable to govern in the Republic of Liberia. And that extension is now being shown itself here in Minnesota. Why will you take out a consulate that is serving as the good chair lady correctly stated, other communities, not just Minnesota? It means that these people cannot do their homework. They are unable to study. They are unable to read. I say so.
Okay, let me go down to the chair lady. Madam Chair Lady, unmute your mic. Your microphone. Unmute your mic.
Ms. Pato, I'm very, very sorry to inform you that when decisions are made, first of all, not all decisions that the minister or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will come and consult with the community. It doesn't work that way. And you and I, we do not know what led to that. It was not just Minnesota that was affected, all our consulates. So to come here on the show and say that we are unable to govern, I think you are misleading your audience. and you are not speaking the truth. As we speak now, if you go to Liberia, you will see the constructions of roads. 1 second, please.
So again, okay, let me just get her off this train here. A little bit. Dr. Toto, let me just bring you in here a little bit. The liberal on above the railings. Should the government get the consent of the citizen to say this is what we are doing? It's a one thing, then telling the community leader this is the pending decision. Is the liberal right in his argument?
Oh, the liberal is 100% right on that aspect. You get a huge population of people like President Eric Johnson said, to refer to like bring the diaspora as the 16th county of Liberia, you know, and all of the 16th county of Liberia in the diaspora, you have a huge population in the Midwest. And then you have services that you want to just take away with them. You are consulting the community because some political.
No, there are two things here before I go back to her.
It is not politically motivated. I will not have you say that because you don't have the facts. Minnesota was not the only council that was affected. So you cannot use that word. You are misleading. Do your investigation. Come up with the facts. Okay? Because one thing you fail to realize, Minnesota, the councilor also helps to generate revenue for the Republic of Liberia, for the foreign ministry. So they will not just come to close the council down because it is politically or motivated. What you and I do not know, we should not speak to that. We all acknowledge the fact that we need that counselor here. Whatever reconstruction or they are trying to do, keep the service open. Let your people continue to receive the services that is counseling is being provided, and then you can do whatever changes that you want to do. Try to transition, and that's what we are saying. We are not talking. It has nothing to do with politics. No. Listen to me, Mr. To. It has nothing to do with politics. This is our community issue, and I want us to address it. We should not politicize this. When we come to the part where we need to talk about your weak comings, we need to talk about your incoming Gueglo, we need to talk about Joseph Boycott. Right now, we should talk about the interests of the people. And the president, time and time again, the whole while you have Ellen, you have everybody, Liberians did not have dual citizenship. The only reason you see me and Mr. To, Dr. Tote speaking here, because they cannot stand. And one thing I know is that Liberians, we are quick to condemn good things. We do not like good governance. President, we are in a history republic of Liberia. Senate formation of Liberia is one of the best, if not the best. He's one of the best.
We're going to have this. Hold on 1 second. We're going to have this thing segment so that our audience will know. We don't want to create a disconnect. Let's go to the Minnesota issue, which is very crucial. I believe the Liberal want to.
Yes. Mr. So I think she proved.
You are saying the Liberal.
Wait, Mr. To, you can ask for my statement that I issue. So you can't come on this platform and make false allegations. I, as the leader of CDC USA, issue, a statement requesting and asking and even saying, I said in that statement, if we have to reach to the president to intervene immediately. And that was done. They intervened and they extended. What else leadership do you want?
Madam Chair, let me, Mr. So, and she just proved my point. And I love it when they do that. She just proved my point of me saying that consultation would have been preferred than because what she's suggesting now, wanting the president intervention, because why? The citizen, the people that she herself being member of that community are not in favor of the decision. If that consultation has happened in the past before coming to this point, by making this announcement, the people, the government would have realized that perhaps this is not something that will be accepted by the people in our community. The reason why they put a consulate there, because the consulate is there to serve the Liberian population in that community. And my point here, madam, I'm not trying to say what. That's not what I do. I don't try to determine what your statement going to be. That's not what I do. You make your own statement and you can defend that. But my point here is this: I said this, and I said it before, and I will say it again. If this government, if they were, and they've done this on many occasions, if this government have come out. And you're saying that they don't have the right, it's not necessary for them to consult the community before they make decisions. Yeah, we are now, because of their failed attempt to try to circumvent the people of that community, to bring in something that the people of the community is not going to. That's why right now they're stomach running. They're stomach running. You know where the stomach going? It's going to Monrovia. Yeah, you're saying that you yourself, if these people that are here, if things don't go well, you want the president intervention. You think if it was something good that happened, you would want president to involve? No, but because you know very well that these people, they are inept, and because of that, this government cannot lead, and because of that, people on your side are suffering, that you're going to come and try to smooth things out with us. You mentioned here something about building road. Madam Chair, Mr. So she did mention that. I have to. Madam Chair, it's laughable. The Rawafi Highway right now is a killing zone, according to Liberians.
That's a dead drop.
Madam Chair, you talk about building road. We're not talking the community here. We're not talking about these little others road. We want roads. And the president, I gave him, as an engineer, roadway engineer, I gave the president some kudos on that, because there are some roads, according to some of the information that I'm getting, there are some roads that are being fixed. But should it take 6 years to do something like that? Unacceptable. Bye, CDC. We're bringing in a new government that will be able to help and stabilize this country.
We can bet on that. It's going to be one round.
But just give me 1 second. You have a huge community in Minnesota, the Liberian population in the base where the government did not do any kind of request for proposal to get people opinion, to get people idea on how to run the council or to make a major decision. They just came out, they just took a unilateral decision because of 1 or 2 persons they dislike or not support them. And you got run to ALC, the government do this, the government. I mean, this is very unhealthy.
Dr. Tote, until you can bring document to prove that they close the consulate. What's about Georgia consulate? What's about other consulate around the world? So that accusation is baseless.
Okay. Let me ask this question.
As far as we concerned, I've not seen any official statement approved from Georgia or New York Council.
I can send it to you right now. I can send it to you. I can show you Georgia Council letter for the communication that she sent.
But the bottom line, the decision was taken was very poor. Whether it was Georgia or Minnesota.
No. You should say the decision is not in the best interest of the people. But do not come here and say because they disliked. You cannot make those kind of allegations.
So let me ask you this question, Madam Chair. You are in Minnesota, correct?
Yes.
And OLM constitute other community organization, but OLM is the mother organization. Was there any time you remembered that the GOL, the government of Liberia, gave a hint to the executive? I don't know. I have my own view with respect of government to get a consultation for entire population. I don't think that's how it works. My argument is they should have communicated with the administration.
Okay, so what I'm going to say, right? Mr. To, who claims to, I don't know if he studied government, Ms. Dr. Tote, I don't know their understanding of leadership. My thing is, if the government did not communicate, the government is in consultation with the office, the consulate office. If there was any communication sent to Mr. George, who happened to be the consul general, I think he should have discussed with the community that This is what is about to happen, da 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 da. But you cannot come here and tell me that when the government republic of Liberia wants to make a decision, they will write OLM. And it is not bad to have a consultation meeting. No. But
So
I believe that the government were in consultation, they were in constant communication with Jackson George. I want to believe that.
So let me ask you a question. You are opening another point of conversation. So are you saying the government did reach out to Mr. George? And if the government reached out to the Mr. George, that was the right thing to connect with the community leadership.
Yes.
In turn, get to the community to say what happened. So are you telling us, or do you strongly believe this information, this tip-offs were given to Mr. George, and Mr. George perhaps had the information to his chest without?
Okay, so here is what I'm going to say. I do not have a letter here, but I believe that the closure of the council, the letter that came, that the council will be closed, it did not happen that very day or that week. I believe there were discussions ongoing that this was going to happen before that letter came. I strongly believe that. I do not believe that the ministry or the minister of foreign affairs woke up one morning Friday and just sent a letter that we are closing all the council around the world. No, I do not believe that. And I stand to be corrected. Mr. George, maybe he will be given the opportunity to explain that. I believe they communicated with Mr. George. They had a series of meetings and discussions on this issue.
Okay.
Before.
All right. We discussed the problem. The Liberal, let me just break you in.
Yeah. Could you please ask the chair lady to see if there's any whoever has the other devices is really killing our conversation here.
I don't.
Something I don't know. Yeah, some kind of noise is coming. But there are two things. If you also monitoring and then the volume is up, then we go in and out. But maybe what I would do, if anyone who is not speaking, probably I would just mute that or mute the person. I mean, the group that not speaking.
Well, I think she brings up a lot of experience on this platform. So I will try to take time. Maybe have
you about to,
Mr. So I'm trying to say something.
About to surrender.
No, quite far from it. Surrender to CDC.
Mr. So, let me say something. Mr. So,
Madam Chair, what I was going to say is that perhaps after the show, or maybe somebody, Mr. So, or someone else can try to fix your system so that it will be able to have some clear.
I don't think this noise is. I just logged into my email and immediately I came here. I wasn't watching anything, and I don't have any other device.
Okay, wait, Mary. So, like I said, what I'm going to be doing, so you guys know, I will try to see what I can mute everybody. It will minimize it. If you speaking, to your microphone will be open. So, Dr. Toto, Madam Chair, let me just close you guys, and let me just bring in the Liberal Progressive. The Liberal.
Yes.
The chair lady argue a point that she strongly believes, that's too definitive, that this heads up perhaps were given to Mr. George, who is the head of the council. For whatever reason, until I can, and I'm hoping to be in Minnesota this weekend to also give the coverage and hopefully maybe talk to hopefully we'll be given the permission to even interview the ministers or senior government officials are coming.
Yes.
That's a very critical point, and I want you to respond to that.
Mr. So. The chairman has a point. Fair point. Perhaps the councillor himself, perhaps have the conversation with the government, with his government, and I bet most likely it didn't happen overnight. But my point here is this: we have seen so many of these kinds of unforced, which are called unforced error from CDC from time to time. Remember the July 26th issues, the sedition, the youth wing of CDC. After some blunder behavior, they came back and started distancing themselves from CDC, from the youth wing. Remember this, the $25 million map out. These are things that they don't do consultation. And I'm not saying that the government should anytime they're ready to make decision that they should go and consult people before they make decision. Far from it. The government is there as an administrator for the Republic of Liberia on all issues. They should make some decision, and their decision will affect people. Now, Mr. So, let's go a little bit further than that. We're talking about a community that is also huge amount of money come from Minnesota and support the George Weah government in the Republic of Liberia. Huge amounts of money come from there by the people, citizens of Liberia, lives over there. Now, if you have a consulate over there, and the consulate is there to make sure people don't travel to New York for visa and whatever, well, however way they run their stuff over there, is there to help the community. And my point here, Mr. So, is this. If this government, my opinion that is, if this government is not inept, if this government was some government that has the ability to lead, first thing first, you send an emissary here in Minnesota and you tell the consular general to say, please, I want to meet with the head of the Liberian community here in this area. Knowing full well that the consular himself most likely have that information. So he also, I'm just speculating at this point, he's also most likely will want people to intervene because perhaps he want to keep his job. So, but by this, the government sending representative here, they send representative here already. What are they going to do now? What are they meeting about? It's not to resolve the issue. It's to, if they feel they were right, they don't have to consult. And why they send people here? They should just go ahead and close it then. But because they know very well they're in deep trouble now. They're in deep trouble. And as a result, they're sending people here to try to resolve the issue. They're playing politics. Then she's saying that we playing politics for this thing? No, far from it. This is why they should have done the very first time. Come here, have a conversation with the community and say, this is what the government is planning to do, and this is what the government going to do. Then by you getting some feedback from the community, you go back to the decision maker, and then they will be giving them that kinds of information. It helps them to form a complete decision that will be helpful to the people of Minnesota or the community in that area and the government of the Republic of Liberia. Perhaps the government has a legitimate reason why they want to close them.
So, okay, before I go to the chair lady and come to go to Dr. Toto, your argument, are you saying it's too late? The damage has been done? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's why they're sending people here to
so
beg.
Are you in support
they're sending
of
people
them?
here to beg them, to beg the people of Minnesota. Don't let them come and start speaking BB book. They're coming here to beg because they know they're not blunder. They're coming here to hold the people for. They're coming here to hold the people for.
Okay, so I'm trying to control it. I'll be going back to all. Let me come to Dr. Toto, and then I will come to the chair lady. Dr. Toto, just unmute yourself. Dr. Toto, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So let's say the decision was taken. There's backlash, potential political consequences, if I may add. But the government is reconsolidating your position to say, let's have conversations. Is that a bad thing?
I mean, it is not bad at all, to reconsider the decision to have a conversation. But the point we're trying to make, like Liberal is trying to make, why even did you take that into consideration? Was there any request or proposal was sent to the council? Would you see ever happy?
The only person that can validate that is Mr. George. Mr. George.
Mr. George, a very point of interest. By you or look, dual citizenship have been passed already in Liberia. Through the book, and we were the advocate for that. Dual citizenship have been passed in Liberia. You talk about election time coming in October, you're going to get your huge flock of Liberians going back home to be part of the electoral process. It is political, they motivated, whether about a chair, don't want to accept or not, it's deep politics that involved it here. Those guys, they are afraid of competition. They want to stop people traveling to Liberia to be involved in the political process. That could be one of the factors. It may sound laughable to Barachia and other cities, but the bottom line, they don't like competition. They will do everything. They will do everything to distract the mindset of the people, the entire population, to try to control the narrative because of the election. Now look at today. We talk about going to election. Now the censor that all cry out, whether that censor meet international standard or not, we don't even know. But they came out to say Liberia have a population of 5.8 million. Now net came out with statement saying that they want for to register, you have to be a Liberian citizen. That means you have to hold a national ID, passport, or some national document. Now, you get a country about you say 5.8 million according to that new census. The voting population will probably be about 2.30 million. On the 2.8 million, you have about 75% that live in the hinterland of the country, and the urban there. They don't even have voter ID. They don't have all the things that they're listed for them to register. You think we're going to have a successful election? So these are all citizen strategy. They are making the way to control the narrative.
Quickly before I go to her. So what I try to sense are here, you think there was a political ploy because the ruling establishment is afraid that maybe the opposition will go in droves come 2023 and that will subdue their strength, their winning strength. Do you think, is that how you see it?
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. That's why going to happen.
Let me go to her and we try to control it. Okay, Madam Chair.
Dictatorial or total.
Yeah.
It is very unfortunate that you in opposition do not even know the strength and the weakness of your opposition camp. If you are talking about the people that will leave from the United States or the diaspora to go and vote, it will be seditions. We outnumber you people everywhere you can think about. You go to Europe, CDC is well organized. You come to the United States, you go to Ghana, all over the world. So if anybody that would benefit from the consulate being open, it will be CDC members. I can tell you that for a fact. I think you people trying to politicize this because you don't have the numbers. So you are glad, I think you would be happy to say, oh yeah, the consulate is closed because you don't have people that will go back to register. You know for the fact that seditions are loyal and committed people. Nothing can even make a sedition to back to say, oh no. So if anybody will benefit from the consulate being open, it will be sedition. And I can tell you this decision was not politically influenced. This affected other consulates. Whatever the reason is, you will get to know when we meet at the town hall meeting. And I'm sure Mr. Jackson George knows what the discussion has been behind the door. You and I don't know, and I do not believe that the Minister of Foreign Affairs got up one day and say, oh, I'm closing, knowing the kind of funds that the consulate will generate, has been generating for, to upkeep, to run the affairs. No, it wasn't. You cannot. And this is the kind of petty politics that opposition can play. You people will not speak to the issues. You will have no reason to just reason. But once it is about CDC, President George Weah, you try to twist the story. You cannot. You cannot. This was not politically motivated.
Okay,
these are serious issues that the ministry saw and they discussed, for which they temporarily closed the consulates. And I think they're going to, that's just one way. And let me talk to Mr. To, who said they should have had consultation. That's just one way of resolving issue. That's just one way of making decision. What happened to all the other ways that they used? Communicating with all the councillors, having all these meetings, you think they did it? You just stuck to one way, come to the community. That's your way. That's just one way. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but there are other ways to make decisions.
Okay, let's discuss the issue. Coming. I will come to you. There's a follow-up question, and then I will come to you guys because we want to get the minimize the echo. We have discussed the problems. We also like to find solution to problems that we discuss. We don't just walk away with it, guys. I mean, when everybody microphone open for now, you can hear the noise. That's what I'm saying here. You will respond to whatever I want to be doing. But let me just ask you now. You are part of the ruling establishment, and that you are the national chair, and you say you issue a statement. Hopefully, we can get access to that. But now the team, the delegation here as a whole now, what are you hearing from your government?
Mr. So, before the chair lady, let me make a public announcement, please. I just want to make this to the audience that are responding and writing. We're here to debate. We're here to have discussion. We might not agree with each other, but there's no reason. There's no reason to call names. There's no reason to insult anybody. And we're going to be monitoring that. If people cannot sit here and contribute effectively and try to insult, then perhaps we're going to block that person.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that. Now, we want to make it clear here. This network is not an entertainment network. We have Professor Zalo here from the ruling establishment who were contributing, and I reached out even to the national chairman in Liberia, and I had a lengthy conversation with the chair lady here. Look, I have other parties representing, whether they send in directly or indirectly, but they are expressing their view. And she tried all her means to put people there, but it delayed, and she said, I'm going to be coming up. So please, we don't black people here, because when you black people, you don't even have the problem. But if there's any insult, I will monitor the screen, then probably I will be forced to take the decision. These people here, nobody paid them, is at their own volitions. We are talking about a national country. We're not talking about somebody's house or somebody's home here. That's a country. So there will be a diverse and different talking point. Everybody here passionately expressing their views and opinions of people they support. If you want to be with us, please, let's have that civil conversation online. Thank you so much, Mr. To. So, Madam Chair, and she's going to be a contributor here. So if you don't like whatever, then at 2 things you get leave our live screen. So nothing else will get to do about it. We welcome everybody. So the question here now, what are you hearing from your government in terms of this sort of meetings? Is there
thank you for that question, Mr. So. Again, I will state here that I'm not a spokesperson for the government. I do not represent the government Republic of Liberia in any way. I am the chairman of CDC USA, and I'm also a member of this community. And my hope is that, so I have not discussed what the solution would be. We were assured that they're going to send a delegation and they would meet with the Liberian community. In fact, they extended the closure to 3 months. So that's a good news. And the delegation is here. They're going to have a town hall meeting. I believe that we have a good, workable solution that will meet the service and the needs of the community. That's all I know. But I did not have a special consultation meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs or anything. But it is my hope when I'm in the community, we are here to serve our people, and we just want our people needs to be met. And I know they will be here on Saturday. As you said, we will be at that meeting to interview them, and then we'll see at the end of the day we get the solution. Right?
Well, let me put it clear. In as much as support the government, that decision was not a decision as a community leader, as somebody in the community that was welcome, correct?
Which decision?
The decision of the closure by the attempt closure by the government, which prompted this sort of conversation. That was something.
The community was not happy about that, and we have elderly, our elderly people. You know that Minnesota, we are more than 40,000 Liberians. Just about this time, you will see a lot of Liberians traveling to Liberia. If you don't have a consulate here, you have to send your passport to New York. When you send your passport to New York, you have to have a return envelope. It will cost you more money. So all we are saying is that access to services is more important in any community, especially if you already have the service. To take it away and put people through that is not a good thing. Again, I'm not a spokesperson of the government. I think the government or those that made that decision have other reasons. That is why they will be here to educate, to tell the Liberian community why they decided to do it that way, and they can find a common ground. But yes, the people were not happy about that decision,
including yourself. What you not happy?
if I were not happy about the decision. This is a government for the people. Nothing I am doing is about me. You get what I'm saying? I can get on the plane, I can call somebody, and they can do. But if the people are not happy, the government, the president, as he will always say, he a peaceful person. He loves his people. So the government by the people, for the people. So if the people are not happy, that is why the minister took upon himself, the government Republic of Liberia, to say, oh, if our people are not happy, then we have to visit them. You understand? No other government will do that. Not many other leaders that we know in opposition will do that, to say, oh, our people not happy, will go and visit. No. Dr. Toto knows that.
Okay.
Mr. Toto knows that. This government is one of the best. They listen to the people in no time. Within 24 hours, they say, oh no, if our people, they are not happy, even though we're trying to do something good, trying to introduce or change. You remember, change is hard. People don't like change. They don't care whether that change is going to be good for them. They don't like change. So, the minister, you will see them, they'll be in Minnesota, because this is a government for the people, by the people. So if the people are not happy, the government say no, we have to be there, the thing necessary to spend and call people and say, look, you're fly there and go meet with our citizen. That is why Saturday they're going to be having a town hall meeting. So I must employ, let me use the time to thank the government Republic of Liberia, to thank the foreign minister for his timely intervention.
All right. Let me go to Toto. Dr. Toto.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether my question was answered, but you politicians, they will always have to take it strategic. What should be the focus now? Do you think the deal is already settled? What happens when the government insists and gives reasons best known to themselves? We don't want to preempt. We don't want to be judgmental what the decision going to be, but there are two things: closure, or we allow it to stay. Two things. The chairman of the OLM executive director was here, and they are all pushing that they have this place to remain. What happens when the government provides tons of reasons, say we cannot maintain this because of X, Y reason?
And also, look, the government mess up. That's the reason why they come in. And they are just coming to apologize to the Liberians in the diaspora for the poor decision that they took. That's all. They mess up. They just coming to apologize. And let me just take Madachia. Let me just switch Madachia a little bit small. Madachia boastfully stated on the platform comparing President Weah or the CDC government one of the best government that ever walk or show face on the soil of Liberia. But Madachia, I don't know how you feel to make such a statement in a country like Liberia today. We see healthcare so bad. Your citizens have to fly to Ghana. You have youth unemployment rate very high. Even food, people Liberians cannot even live on 25 cents a day. Yeah. You talk about your human capital, it's very poor. Foreign capital, direct foreign investment, FDI, very poor. You don't have investors in the country to even tune the economy of the country. The people. Then you come here and say that this government is one of the best government that work on the surface of Liberia, Manachia. Why will you say such a statement like that?
I can give you reasons. So many reasons.
Okay, just hold on 1 second. He asking a rhetorical question here. So let me expand on your question. Is there any good side of this government that you know, Dr. Tutu?
I mean, the government have done some good things. We must applaud them, especially today. Like when I was on social media, the picture from West Point or sport page that they turned into something good. We can applaud them for that, But for me to come and sit on the platform and say they are the best to ever walk on the surface of Liberia, that's not a fair statement.
It's above the sea level. Okay. Let it deliver.
Yes, Mr. So, I give it to I will give it to the chair lady though. She made some serious point and factual point as well, and that is sedition are a bunch of committed people. Sedition do not have to wait for order from the higher up before they do what they have to do. If, for example, if the government Republic of Liberia open these things up and say everybody that want to come to Liberia and come and vote, you will have more sedition going to Liberia to vote than you have any other party members, which is true because they're very committed. However, what I do disagree with the chair lady though is the fact that she would say that this government is the best. It's laughable. This government is the worst. This government is the worst. They're corrupt. And not only are they corrupt, but they are inept. They are unable to perform. Every indicator of human living standard in Liberia is going downhill. Nothing is going up. Nothing. You can't say that they just quite recently there was a rights issue, concern of Liberians. You got people 6-7 years ago that had no place to stay. They own mansion, millions of dollars in their bank account. Where they get it from? How much they're making a month? And these are people that we're going to sit here and they say they're good? No, far from it. Now, having said all of that, one other thing that I give the government, and I always say this, is the safety of the Liberian people. Under this government, yeah, you can say people die here and there, but I've always said this, that millions and millions of Liberians will go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow morning. That cannot be said for other countries. Those are things that I will put out for the government. But in terms of true development, they have a developmental agenda. Okay? They have the agenda. And they are not able to implement their own agenda they put together. They can't make it. And these are people you want them to have another 6 years? Forget it. If you give these people another 6 years, we're done. We're kaput. We're done. Done. So, Mr. So, this government of the Republic of Liberia,
I'll do it. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah.
Was there somebody calling?
Was that?
Because I said somebody call in.
No.
Okay. All right. But the point here, Mr. So, is that this government, one term is enough. Bye-bye, CDC. Bye-bye, CDC. The person that I admire, I don't know them, I admire, Ambassador Baka, is coming to stabilize this country, and we will do it effectively. He will do it effectively. And you will see the difference of good leadership. You will see the difference of people who are willing, committed Liberian, that will be willing to put Liberia first and not themselves. Mr. So, okay. That is the definition of CDC.
Let's come to you, Madam Chair. There are a lot of sound bites from the Liberal Progressive, Dr. Toto. Let's have a response. The Liberal said he was very definitive. He was very precise, no sugarcoating that your government is corrupt, not just only corrupt, inept, and all of that. Is your government corrupt?
Okay. Oh, thank you, Mr. So, and I would like to respond to Mr. To and Dr. Toto. Oh, Mr. To, according to you, everything in Liberia is going down, I must say to you, that statement has no fabric of truth in it. For the matter of fact, the number of Liberians that visit Liberia since the ascendancy of President George Weah has tripled. In no time in the history of the Republic of Liberia, you have seen diaspora returning home, undertaking projects, building homes, engaging in businesses. The history of the Republic of Liberia has that happened. Okay? Okay, we talk about security. The security in Liberia, you cannot compare it to any other thing. Since I know you will go back to Ellen, the Ellen story, but even during Ellen time, the way you see people going back home, it has never happened. Only under this administration. There is no political prisoner in the Republic of Liberia. If you talk about the only way a country will develop and will grow and will prosper is through roads, connectivity, agriculture. You can see now, see the number of Liberians that are trying to produce rice. Just today, I saw Armstrong were congratulating, thanking the Minister of Agriculture. They gave him on his institution a new rice mill. You know the truth, but you decided to turn a blind eye to the truth. Okay? The roads, you're talking about, look at the Battlefield Road. Even in the United States, it takes time to construct roads. It doesn't happen overnight. Look at the parks. They will soon be dedicating the PHP park. After 100 or 200 years, Liberia, you just see parks, recreational parks, well-modern parks in the Republic of Liberia. This president has the mind to develop that country. The only reason people like you and Dr. Toto will be on a platform trying to say all these negative is because you are also part of those Liberians who cannot see beyond. You only talk about now. In order to plan and develop a country, you have a plan, and over a period of time, you will implement those plans and projects.
So, Madam Chairlady, let me ask you, and you said, and you're quite correct to say that you are not the spokespersons of the government, which of course we would love to have the spokesperson of the government to give them the opportunity and not to be judgmental. How can you, if you talk to other Liberians and talk to other non-Liberians, we see some of the things that are happening. For example, the 3 missing boys, the auditor, the death of the auditor, investigations over investigation, they are not being that conclusive. How do you sometimes explain yourself, you as a chairperson, if you were to be confronted by international media today to come and defend your party? Even recently here, I know investigation takes a very length of time here. Well, how do you feel when some of this question comes to you?
It is unfortunate that those murders have not been solved. But even in the United States, John F. Kennedy was assassinated. It took years. You have murder cases in the United States over 50 years that have not been solved. So having a population and you only talking about, you can only talk about 5 or 6 persons that are being killed. I feel bad for the relative. I feel bad, and I know I will continue to sympathize with them. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. You can only name 5 persons. In countries, other countries, people die on a daily basis. Okay? So that is not unheard of. So I can only tell people the investigation went on, they carry on investigation. If people who think that they are not satisfied with that investigation, other people from there, I don't want to say anything, to feel like I don't have empathy. It's sad to lose a relative, it is sad. But it doesn't mean that when something happens, that's the government fault that it happened, or we got people that are being killed in America. Nothing. Nothing. People are still trying to solve these mysteries that they call them mysteries. People are still trying to solve them. And you talk about somebody dying in a car. I know those people. I know Abbott. I knew him too good. But just the other day, I knew somebody in Minneapolis that died in the car, and they said our carbon monoxide. On a serious thing, they died in the car in Minneapolis. But the thing is, when it comes to the Republic of Liberia, especially the President George Manuel Weah-led government, even if something is clear white, other people will not want to accept that report. It happens here in the United States. Government go and investigate. People say, that thing is not true. So I can't say anything is left with them. We go by what is on the records, what was presented to us. I think that's where we base our argument off of.
Thank you so much. Madam Constant Dopu is the USA chair, and she will be contributing on this network. Welcome the far right, Amos George, who is also a supporter of the Alternative National Congress, ANC. Amos George, good evening and welcome.
Good evening and welcome to Madam Duopo, Dr. Tupo, Mr. To.
Okay, let's drag you in the fight. Gentlemen, before I bring Amos, he's going through a resettlement process here. You guys want to respond to? Say, yeah, there are court cases here. It takes time for investigation to be conclusive. Logical argument. Is she on point?
Mr. So, let me just say this here.
It's getting to be interesting. It's getting
Mr. So, let me say this. Why her point is quite correct. There are a lot of issues here in the United States, but the fact here remains the same. People in Liberia don't trust the government on nothing because the government have lied so many times. So even if the government is trying their best to be truthful, it's just very difficult. So the government is not just.
Let me just mute everybody because I don't know. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Something, Madam Chair, something not right around your area there, but we'll figure it out. Okay, the Liberal, go ahead.
What I was saying is
no television on. Let me make sure no television on. I will be back. You can continue the discussion.
Yeah, some sort of noise because
the government is known of lie. I mean, it's there's no secret. And the government will come out to say, well, we want to do X, Y, and Z, and they don't carry those functions out to finish, to make sure to present documents to the people. They will say they will do investigation, but they don't tell us what the investigation result will be. And those are the kinds of stuff that people have issue with this government being truthful. And so people will say these kinds of stuff, but that's not my issue with the government, with this government. My main issue with this government is that, first of all, it is unable to govern truthfully. Yeah, we're talking safety and what have you. Yeah, the government, as far as I'm concerned, the government is doing the best for citizens to be safe. And I've always said it, and I will say it again. Millions and millions of Liberians go to bed tonight and get up in the morning, without any kinds of issue. So I give them that. However, if you have a government and you have people who overnight become millionaires in Liberia, as far as Liberian standard of living is concerned, I will call them gazillionaires in Liberia. For what? For what? How? How much you make a month for you to be able to amass that kind of wealth overnight? And that is unacceptable. And then, but find what I can say about it. They think the reason why I want to make these statements, even as painful as they are, by the end I laugh because CDC is out of the door. There's no question ice. There's no question ice. So, Mr. So, we're happy to have the chair lady here. She can say all that she wants to say, and those are her feelings, and we respect it. But we will respectfully disagree with her on these many issues.
Okay. See Sissy laughing. It's like his dream has come to pass, something that he has been wishing for. So that will be quite interesting. The other lady is going to be joining us, not necessarily tonight. But Sissy, share the phone with her. Good evening, welcome.
Hey man, it had to be a reason why I come here on late. You know, I was going to be here from the very beginning of the show. But better late than never. We're working on our Friday thing, behind the scenes, Mr. So, and then it's in a bunch of meetings right now, trying to get ready for that other thing I got signed up for, my keynote speaking stuff. So that's why. But I'm excited that we have a seditian who understands the PAPD, and I'm really willing to learn. I didn't want to ask Wetton Keto there, but now this is the president of CDC USA. Maybe she can explain to us the PAPD and the hope for change, or the change for hope. I think those two things are interchangeable for them. I don't know, but I'm just excited to learn. So.
Edmund Josh, are you in the same column with Sister Goya?
Yeah, I want to school me about it. I know PDD well back the program, because they say some bosses, I know they're going to get 600,000 like bring off of property within the next first 6 years of government. And I heard the minister saying that they have to revise those numbers, but he don't even have one number to tell the Liberian people how many people have been lifted from poverty. So I want let you come and try to school me, how they have gone about that document. And people all let this make. I always say this moral equivalent that people die in America, cold cases in America. But look at the population, the ratio, and look at your country that you're talking about. I heard she was making reference to Caesar. I know they say 5% were killed in Liberia, this and that. I don't know whether she has the statistics, because under George, we are more than, I think, 40% has been killed under George. We are mysterious death. The police, the guy, one time, the guy from when was reading the names of those people. So even if it is one person mysterious death and the government taking 5 years, they can't solve that problem. Look at Liberia, the population. That tells you something is wrong. People go to Liberia. I don't know now how many people can stay in the street in Liberia at 12 o'clock in the night. Nobody, except you in your community. But what we used to do, roam Broad Street all over, you cannot do it again. That is to tell you that something is wrong with the security apparatus in the country. So when people come to say, oh, the government is trying, yes. But to what extent? 5 years going to 6 years now, they still trying on security, everything they're trying. But you sat down 12 years, you identify all these problems, the ills, and you told people I can solve this problem.
Federal for the trouble. Federal, yeah.
So you come now, and you tell people now, oh no, fire, there's a poor excuse. Let the people tell the people that they have failed, period. Look at this document. I'm not sure asking for some documents, because everything you talk about CDC don't want to ask for documents, but they cannot interpret their own document to us.
What document do you have?
Like, do you know how much your government? Can you tell me how much your government just spent on education last year? They spent $92 million last year.
Yes, sir.
And the office of the president carried $1.5 million for what kind of expense. You think $92 million is enough to build Liberia up to be parallel with other countries in the region?
So there's some sort of interfering that hopefully we'll try to figure out at some point in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only two political party people can suffer from technology. If that's Coca-Cola phone, they want that Bakuba phone and give me problem. We're only two political party.
Anyway, Mr. So let me just hang in there. So when she come, maybe then we can start it. I said she can start.
You know why?
I think we get a 2 points pointing issue here, but I think more or less the conversation going to be getting interesting, right?
For CDC to do well, they need to bring at least 2 sedition on here. One is not enough.
Then also to add.
But and we're talking yeah, you ran we're talking with.
Because they got nothing to offer.
Who have nothing to offer? What did you say?
Sedition has nothing to offer.
All the great academic indicator of the government just so bad.
What do you have to offer? What have you offered? What have you offered?
Oh, I'm offering right now. I'm offering Ambassador Bakai.
And I also offer Councilor Tewa Goglo.
You know, you people are scattered all over the place, displaced in your own country because of power greed. And that is why this election 2023 going to be one round. President, we have the CDC-led government will whip all the political parties. You can come together just to think that you can defeat him, but this time around, because you have nothing, you're not the alternative to the Liberian people problem. We understand there are problems, but the opposition, no, you have no answer because you cannot even
let me hold you
the simple institution that you have.
Madam Chair, you said
can I ask one question, Mr. So, please. The president just said, and I quote, or the chair, you are displaced in your own country. Can you please elaborate on that a little further? Because I'm confused about that. What do you mean by that?
Okay. You got ANC, Unity Party, every one of them, I can't hold together. One meeting, the other person, they in their confusion, they go into court. You're not even organized. You are not organized.
So are you equating this organization with displacement?
Yes, 1 million you get false allegations. No, hold on. No, you wait. No. Graham, you gotta give me a chance to speak. You ask a question. I was saying you are not organized. 1 minute you will cry wolf and say somebody trying to kill you, you run and you displace. That's an example. Henry Costa will go and say, oh, they go trying to kill me people. He hardly in Cape Mount from one place, he go through Sierra Leone. No one has time for that. You people are not organized. You are not a solution to Liberian people problem. Liberian people, we understand they got a problem. They need, the government is doing all it can. In 2023, October 10th, this election will be the simplest, the easier election that will ever take place because the opposition has shown the true color that they are not capable to lead the Liberian people. They have nothing to offer. They are all power greed and they're trying to get what they never sold, where they never sold. They're trying to reap it. So the people in Liberia know they will not even make the mistake to even get your 10%. It will not be no distribution this time around. 2%, Unity Party 5%, ANC 7%. It will not happen this time around.
So Mr. So, I know I've been late to this program, but I wanted to elevate the conversation because I respect my sister, the chair, and that's the reason I asked that question. But it is unfortunate that the chair would say that because Heron Costa fled through Sierra Leone, so that equates to people being displaced in their own country, especially using the word displaced coming from a 15-year civil war. We still have our people internally displaced. It's unfortunate. I don't even think it's equitable. The next thing for the chair to talk about the opposition is trying to reap what it didn't sow. What did McGill sow before becoming a millionaire? What did what's his name? Samuel Tuer sow before having all the money he got? What did George Weah sow before building the condominiums? Let
me answer the question.
Madam Chair, allow me. What the Fina people sold before all the money she got? What the Moroba Molu sold before all the money he got? What were they showing? The seeds of the Sakamo tree. Yeah, this is so disingenuous. You're always asking. Just allow me, please. You're always asking people to show what they have done for the Liberian people before the Liberian people can entrust them. And when people ask you the same question, then you stutter all over the place, right? And I like how citizens can always project stuff, and usually without any iota of data to back it. The same way they say Polita Way was going to beat Darius DeLong, the same way they came out and say, what they gonna man, my uncle Thomas Fala was going to beat Darius DeLong. The same way they were raising people's hands up everywhere that they can't raise anybody hand anymore. Legislative election, and the same way John will be one round. You know, this is so unfortunate. You did not win one round in 2017. And back then, people were willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. Now that they're seeing your inefficiency, you think that's when you're going to win one round? How does the data support you on that? You haven't won any election whatsoever since George we have won. So how is that? What is the data that you can't tell that tells you you're going to win election in one round?
Okay, so let's do it one at a
Don,
time.
I can address your questions.
Yeah.
Let me answer your questions. Go ahead. Oh, Mr. Sisi, go on. Can you tell me who told you that Nathaniel Mange, how you calculated his wealth to say he has $1 million? What's your calculation?
I actually didn't say 1 million, I said millions, and it came from.
Okay, how did you come up with that figure?
I'm telling you asked a question. He has millions because you can see his lifestyle. You can see. This is what we call anecdotal evidence. It's right there in his lifestyle, right in the people's faces. And besides that, he was sanctioned because of all of that.
Okay. Let me say this to you, right? If a man, you went to school, right? Because you wanted to change your lifestyle. And because someone works in the government or because someone is educated doesn't mean that they cannot live any kind of life that they can afford. Okay? Mr. Sanatua is the Minister of Finance. Before he became Minister of Finance, he...
My sister, we all knew Samuel Tua working here in Minnesota. He didn't have money. So don't even do that talk. You're already in Brooklyn Park. We all know that point.
Nathaniel Mange was
already driving truck across interstate. You didn't have that much money.
Nathaniel Mange was renting 1-bedroom apartment.
Let me see. Check your microphone. Check your microphone. We're not hearing you, Constant. Check your mic. Let's see. Unmute. You got to unmute yourself.
That's the thing. They go like for driving truck to father minister.
Oh.
Then you see people have wealth.
Constance, can you unmute yourself? We're not hearing something. All right.
Oh, okay. Say, listen to me. When you come on a show late because you came late, doesn't mean you have to terminate the space. This is a safe space. Hold on for me. Hold on. Okay? Women ourselves in the market. They own houses, they own properties. Before Finaburo became who she is, she left like the Monrovia. She was in Grand Crew doing business. Business. I'm not talking about children business, petty businesses. I mean investing in gold and other things. You can't come here because someone is in government and think that, oh, they can't own anything. When your mother decided to send you to school, she wanted to take you out of poverty so you can change your lifestyle. So if the man is working, yes, he is. What a house? How much it take to build a house in Liberia? What are you talking about? You people you even building houses in Liberia, if I'm not making a mistake. Everybody try to build their homes and live up to what they work for. Because you in government, it doesn't mean you ask me what Georgia has done. Let me list the things Georgia has done for the Republic of Liberia. Anything Georgia touches, it turns to gold. When you encounter Georgia, your life will never be the same. Georgia was the first during our time in the 80s or 90s who went professional. When he went, he did not leave other people. He took Sadisa, he took a lot of other players. that who he is. Anything he touches, whoever he encounters, your life will never be the same. Your life will change for the betterment. That's who he is.
Mr. So, please allow us. Madam Constant, what you said just is complete fallacy.
No, wait. Give me chance. Give me chance. You wait. When George Weah went professional, Lone Star was nowhere, the Civil War was on. You listen to numerous testimony of people he helped. You say what your uncle or Joseph Waka, who has he helped?
You see,
what has he done?
You see, Constance, let's have this conversation on the intellectual level. Don't hear below the belt. Joseph Waka, not my uncle. So don't try to minimize the conversation. If you got nothing to defend intellectually, don't do that. Don't do that. Joseph Waka is my traditional uncle as a DC man. So don't try to tribalize it because you got nothing to defend.
No. Mr. So, let me say this. Madam Constant, let me say this to you. All of us are Liberians. We know the history of Liberia.
No, I don't think you people will be disappointed. October 10th, George Weah will be re-elected. You people, none of you have anything to offer the Liberian people.
We're having a panel discussion.
Hold on, guys. Hold on 1 second. Are you guys hearing me now? My microphone, I have my mic muted. Are you guys hearing me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Okay. Yeah, what we're gonna do. When we're having this conversation, people are following through, and we know the passion that is involved, people defending one of their own. That's normal. It's a tradition, we know that. But there are other people there who are independents. They belong to Green Party, Blue Party. So some of them are trying to find accommodation with these tons of political parties. And just to say, nobody is against anybody of his or her political choice. We just need to be having this conversation, and I think we need to do it one at a time so that we can get a takeaway. I think it's lively, it's well engaging when you have everybody representing, end of the sides that they are supporting. So what I want us to do, let's have this conversation, civil one, talk one at a time. When somebody asks his or her question, we give them time.
Would you time?
We're going to be, say, what?
Would you time us?
Oh, now you want time? That now you want time. Why use your time? You use your complaint that now you want time. We're not time.
Oh my God, this guy is so ridiculous.
So let me say this.
Oh no. Okay, I come into Mr. George.
If you want one person to dominate,
Mr. George.
If you want one person to dominate the conversation, then tell us. If you want one person to dominate the conversation, then tell us.
And who the one person? Say or you?
Hold on one second. Let's do it at a time. Sissy asked a question, and she was responding. Talking about the time, that's something we can discuss, but I know that that's something we're going to be imposing. But we're going to have that sort of conversation in our chat room, not just on the time. Interruption, different thing. Hold on, this and that. No, what I'm saying, I want us to do it differently, and we've been doing it differently, and I think we can do that. So hopefully, Constant, can you make your final statement with Mr. Sisse's question? And
okay, Mr. Sisse, first of all, let me apologize to you to say Joseph Waka, that's your uncle. But I know in Lofa, like people, they always say my uncle and this thing. That's all I was saying. I was just kidding, nothing personal. But what I'm trying to say to you is that President George Manneh Weah, the records are there, they speak for themselves. Everybody in Liberia, except those in opposition, even some of you know that President George Manneh Weah is one of the best presidents the Republic of Liberia have ever had. You can take it or you leave it. In 6 years, you have seen what he has done in that country. Based upon that, the Liberian people will re-elect President Weah for the next 6 years.
Okay. Give me George. So I will need to. We gotta find, maybe if I come Minnesota, that we need to fix that audio. Let me Imojoy, let me go to you. Yeah, what your questions or your comment?
Madam Duopo says something that I want to disabuse of mine. George Weah was not the first person to go professional in Liberia football history. I don't know you ever heard of Santo Maria, Paul Bro. Those people play in Europe, in Germany. So to make that statement that George Weah was the first professional to go international is not right. I gave you names. You can do the research. Okay? So I know you love George Weah. Everything is best about George Weah. Everything you say he touched, like Donald Trump, everything he said he touched was gold. But he could not keep a football team.
Your message for
a professional team. George Weah played professional soccer, got all the athletes, but he could not maintain a football team. That's his area. He could not maintain a football team. A nightclub, he could not keep it. Then let's go on. To tell me that this man is the best manager, then I gotta be living in a different land.
Fire in the whole year.
The next thing he said, George Weah is one of the best presidents.
Fire in the
about that. Maybe history will judge us. But I don't know if you did any, if you live in Liberia at the time. Do you remember shoe factory? Chicken soup factory? Matcha factory? All the estates, Bonneville, Stephen Tower, New Jersey, all Matade. It was on Talbot. Talbot introduced the university, the agricultural college at the University of Liberia. So how can you tell us George Weah is the best?
Robert Zawo, it's hard to defend LPR. You got it. So why would you
tell us something different?
Okay.
That George Weah had done. George Weah did not carry Salinsa to France. Salinsa is very Morovia. Call him. He did not carry Salinsa to France. So show us the record. But I want us to do something. Please tell us your development package. What in that George Weah have obtained to improve the life of the Liberian people? In that document, you say within the 5-6 years, you're going to uplift 500,000 people out of poverty. Your Minister of Finance came out to say they have to revise that number, and you don't even have the current number to give you how many people they are left out of poverty. So, Madam Duopo, give me something different.
Okay. As you know, you're already 9:56. It's very this month. Right. Total good evening. Welcome. Are you there?
Constance?
Are you there? Constance, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You want to respond to
Oh yes, I want to respond to my fellow. Oh, you said when I was speaking, I said whatever President George Manuel Weah touches turns to gold. And I said when he went to the professional football, when he went to play, every one of his friends, he's not a selfish person. He brought them along. He brought them along. You're talking about Lone Star. Lone Star, when you talk about soccer, is a team. You're playing as a team. You saw President Weah. All the awards he won, it was because of President Weah doing the civil war that Lone Star could even represent Liberia. That's why we did not go to World Cup, but he made sure. But let's leave that. Now he's president. You talk about electricity. You talk about tuition free. You talk about wire fees. You talk about roads that are being, they are building roads in Liberia. You talk about hospital. The issue in Liberia, let me tell you something. It's not President Weah or the leadership alone. Liberians, our own responsibility to our country. The dishonesty is not in high places. The common man that walk in the street, that's where it is. The issue Liberia has is not lack of leadership, it's the people themselves. So you here speaking and you say, oh, President Weah did not take Talisa to France. Right away, wait. Even in this modern world, it's called networking. Who you know, it's simply Sadisa the one while you are playing, or what his name? Who make the connection? So you being very dishonest right here. You've been very dishonest, and that's more affecting Liberia. Liberia, we are not honest to ourselves. Our own civil responsibility to our country. You see, right in the market, people saying, "Oh, the country dirty." You have your own house in your house. You clean your own living.
Hold on one second. Let me hold you.
I'm telling you that the Liberian people have seen what President Weah has done. You go to OFP, you saw the invisible part, you saw the people he took our property, he took them from zinc shack, he put them in concrete houses. Those people will vote for him because he has changed the narrative.
If you able to get her.
Hold on one second. Let me hold you. I hope my mic is open. Okay. The issue of George Weah carrying silencer, I don't think, as far as I'm concerned, that is insignificant to me. Silencer went to, all of them went to their places. But talking about the Liberian people to be they are responsible, they said. Then let me ask this question here. Against time. Hopefully we will take up and then we will come to your point. Who runs the day-to-day affairs of the state administratively?
You speaking to me?
I'm asking who runs the day-to-day affairs of the state. So
the President Republic of Liberia.
So is he doing what he's supposed to do? So while all Liberians, including myself and those that are in Liberia, should be the one to be responsible. For example, if salary is not coming forth and midwives get in the street, the teachers are not being paid on time, when there will be some sort of civil disobedience before salary will come, what does that have to do with me? As an ordinary Liberian, and the person, when the Minister of Finance, the governor of Liberia are the one responsible to pay civil servants. So why should all of us be
if they're taking pay in Liberia, nobody can come and tell you say salaries are not being paid. People will tell you their salaries are not enough to do this. Always is those excuses. People try to live beyond their means. He is running the affairs of that country. Yes.
Koto Jala. It's better late than never. Koto support the candidacy of Ambassador Joseph Boyka, first choice, am I correct? And then Benedict Arizona Cummings, Alternative National Congress. So there's a diversity to this. Prince Johnson, I just got a text from Prince Johnson that will be sending their honor. More exclusive. Yeah, Koto, do you have a question?
Yeah, I want to say hi to everyone here, to the people of Liberia, and to all of you here. I'm sorry that for me to log on, I've been having problem logging on today. I don't know, problem is from my end. With all of the explanation, what really bothered me today to hear from my sister is concerning the death of our citizens. I don't even want to go through what she explaining about the developmental aspect of George Weah. But to sit on this platform and say that there have been so many care for Cabo Monosa comparing to the death of our two auditors, knowing fully well the information or the result, the investigation surrounding these people have not even come to closure. The husband of this particular, the wife of one of the auditors, up to today, have given several circumstances under which his wife has died. And the report have not come to even give some of these things. And there have been even people confessing of calling the very call logs and things. And the investigation are pending. and she sits here and compare the death of somebody dying from carbon monoxide to one of our brethren people in Liberia. I mean, it's dishonest. It's very, because they come every time they come to justify Joshua have done something. They will come to say this have happened in Liberia, this have happened in America. I'm sorry, this have happened in America. Comparing the circumstances, these people laptops. The person that died in Minnesota had any items that were missing in their vehicles? Did the person that died in Minnesota, did they see any strange environmental things in their vehicle? I mean, it's disappointing. You guys have to stop this thing, regardless of me having a supporter. But we all, Joshua is our president. I don't care what the circumstance is. He is our president. He is responsible to be responsible for anybody, whether a baby or whoever that person is. You can't sit here and tell me that you can compare the death of this person with a person who died in Minnesota from carbon monoxide.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is.
Can I respond to her, please?
Yeah. After she ends, and
Okay.
Okay, we saw here even today a government or official, a seditious, coming out to talk about he knows the debt that's surrounding these people. How do you compromise those things?
All right.
Yeah.
So
Eugene Fago, who is a sedition. He's a sedition and knows the debt of these people. Then you sit here, my sister, that you don't know and you don't have the feeling for these people that are there. Let's forget about political affiliation. Let's consider the feeling of the people that are there. Let's consider the children of those people. They consider the husband and wife of those people today. It could be you. When you take what is happening today.
Okay, let her respond. We are already after the time.
Okay, Kato, I'm just, it's so unfortunate that you came late. Maybe you did not follow what I said. I did not, no, listen to me, dear.
Let's
listen to me. Don't bring your emotions into this. Before I spoke, I said I sympathize with the family. I did not compare the auditors to that death. I was giving an example. I was saying there are so many deaths that are unsolved, even in this country. And I was just giving example of somebody dying in a vehicle. I did not say because somebody died in a vehicle, carbon monoxide. No. And I am saying investigation, they are investigating. Why are we jumping into conclusion? If the government asks for investigation, investigation is going on. If they bring the family, if you're not satisfied, maybe you pay a private investigator. I'm just saying, who brought up that question and said about 5 questions, what can I say? I said it is unfortunate, but all over the world, people die every day. It's a hard truth that we don't want to accept, but that's a fact. People die every day. People leave in their sleep. People jump off from the bridges. People die every day. Some death you can't, medically people can't explain. Investigation is going on, or they investigated and they brought out the findings. If people in opposition or other people feel that they are not satisfied with that, that doesn't mean the government is not doing your work. That's a fact.
It doesn't necessarily have to be opposition.
Hello, guys.
No, whoever is saying that, that's what I'm saying, because we are here representing different institutions on the platform. If the government goes and carry out an investigation, even in America, deaths happen, police investigate, they bring their findings, family members say they are not satisfied. It's not uncommon. I'm just giving an example. It's not uncommon. So I respect your opinion. I respect what you're saying. I am in no way being disrespectful or not in sympathy. It's a sad thing. It can happen to anybody. But that does not mean that the government is not performing on duty. Which means we say the government in America, they're not working because you have thousands of unsolved deaths. No. These are things that happen.
All right. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
hey, what a heater one here. So it's 10:08 Eastern Standard Time now. We already have we started just in time. So I think that's the beginning of this whole political conversation here on LPR going to be elevated into a different level. We're going to be having conversations behind the scene, and we know to discuss national issues is very difficult. We all have different political views, but I do know, and I strongly believe, the folks on this place here, they have good political tolerance, and because guess what? If we are talking about Mahmoud, we're talking about Sese, the Koto, Amos, then that's easy thing. I just found somebody maybe call the wife or the husband, tell me so. But we are talking about a country, a sovereign nation. Just imagine people with different political ideologies, different background, their attachment is so huge. And we really appreciate your time and energy, your passion for the country. And we know there's going to be some heated argument here because we all and people have a different style. But one good thing I know, the civility maintained and the respect we have for one another. And even after the program, we call one another. So I think that's good for the country. So we're going to bring the curtain down tonight. And hopefully we're going to be here, Madam Dohut. Thank you so much. Like you said, the only time you have to your favor now is Tuesday. And hopefully something work out. And like the liberal suggested,
Oh,
like
yes.
a playboy that you're going to be putting somebody forward. This is not a lion dent that I can say. All of these people here, you have the liberal. When the liberal clash with Sisse, it's unbelievable. When the liberal clash with Amos Joyce and Dr. Toto, other two ladies, the other two ladies, they are not here. It can be quite interesting. So don't say like to drag you into the lion den. But the ruling establishment will always be.
All right. I understand. I'm good. I can handle them. We
Okay.
are good.
So let's start with our closing remarks.
Yeah, let me
We're going to
start
do
first.
1 minute each for this night. And believe me, after Minnesota trip or maybe prior to Minnesota, who knows? Maybe Cece and I will jointly do a program Friday before this Minnesota. If all goes well, then see how it looks like, and maybe I can have a chance to sit with the chairlady as well, and to see how the government got to this point, and hopefully to have access, especially to the ministers, because they will be the direct representations of the government, how that decision was made, and how the 360-degree pivot came about here. So, guys, what? Is there an elephant in the room tonight? The liberal. Why are you so quiet?
Mr. So I'm truly enjoying myself.
You know what?
Enjoy yourself.
I'm
Okay,
truly
now let's
enjoying
do a quick
myself.
spin around the room, 1 minute each.
Yeah,
Yeah, who wants to go
let me
first?
give my quick statement.
Yeah, that's it.
I know about my sister. I will,
Let me
I will
let me
for,
close something here because of noise.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, the audio is really bad.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Dr. Tutu.
This is my in-law, my sister-in-law tonight, cause you know, it kind of really made me to kind of disbelieve most of her statement tonight. You get the government, if you look at all the various the key indicator that you measure a good government or good governance under the government is very poor. And for all the boast tonight that the government one of the best government that ever work with the service of Liberia, is not a fair statement. Even the low stars she talk about, look at the president low star of George Weah. Performance very poor. The low star rating is very bad. They gave it compete in the national game. Even the female national team was they withdrew the female national team from the waffle competition. The few time ago they said no money to sponsor them. Under the government, city I would tell Costa, you're the chairleader for CDC USA. It's very hard to defend the government, to be fair. I feel the P or where you coming from. But to defend the government is very, very hard. You code, you do everything, but it's just so hard. But wish you the best. Carry on your campaign. If you think God we have a way of first election Liberia, so be so. That's all I can say.
All right. Thank you. And hopefully, when people are making a comment, let's avoid interruption. That's their final saying. That's their opinion. That's their view. That's how they take the conversation to be. All right. Amos George, your final statement.
Yeah, yeah. Let me just say, Madam Dopu, uh, what you say, Liberia wants to live above the means. That's an insult to people. Under the George Weah government is an insult to the Liberian people. People make $65 to $75. Under Ellen Johnson, people are making more than that. So to come here to say that because Liberian people want to live above the means, that complete insult to the Liberian people. But it's not strange for CDC, the few folks that support CDC, those are the kind of messages you're sending to the Liberian people. And I just want the people to listen and keep their ears open. And everything I said, question that I asked you, you didn't respond. You didn't respond to none of the things. You didn't accurate. Talk about estates and things. Your president could not run the institution that I listed. You did not defend any of those things. So it means that everything I said was true. So we don't come here to just make accusation because we hate. I don't hate George Weah, but I hate his policy. Let me be very frank with you. I don't know him. It's the policy that I go after. Anything personal about him is not my business, but the policy, I will go after it. That's why I hate about him. But I just want to tell you that someone will come and will say things, we do research. Because I don't want nobody to question me where you got your information from, how authentic it is. So thank you, Panelists.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Let me see my arm. That's not too good. Let me see that cutter there. Yeah, my cutter, because I want to make sure.
You can tell Ella comment over from your phone. You tell Ella's comment over. Somebody spend some money.
You took a shot. You took a shot at me. But I will come back. I will take a shot at you. Right.
The same thing Federal are talking here. Say, I let the paper bend over. You do first. Okay, Koto, what's your take on statement? I know you're getting late, but I know you've been following. What's your final message?
Yeah, so it's so sad my sister is saying I'm not following, but I just want to tell her that I've been following. Nothing about Liberia can pass my ear easily. It was just that unfortunately, I think I disconnected one of my cables that I was not connecting successfully. But I want to let our sister know that when we discussing politics about Liberia, we should have the fights. That indeed, to compare the developmental aspect of one government to another, it has to do with comparison. And when we're doing that, we do it on a comparative and analysis level. Okay, this government will empower to build one hospital. And like Kimby, I built 2 hospitals. This government will empower to did $300 and I did $500. We do that comparison. Since the government have come to power, we have not heard of real grant or fund coming in. When we talk about a developmental aspect of a country, it comes from where you partnership with other countries to create job for your people. How have this president or this government created job for its people that he promised? And I was just looking at the debt ceiling of Liberia since this president, okay? And if you look now, for me, I just look at from 2020 to 2022, it have rise from 850 million to 1,150. The debt ceiling have gone. Just every year, it's extending. Is that progress that you can depend on? You take loan to put the responsibility on the incoming people or the responsibility on our children and our great-grandchildren. Is that development you can boast of? Did you get that money? Where did you get the money from that you boasted of development? Those are the things that we count out. Where did you get the from? We said, oh, we build this road. Where are the roads? You don't sit there, some of you did not stay in Liberia to see what Liberia was, to see where Bala Eddie Johnson took Liberia from before George Weah came to power. And when I was sitting, analyzing some of these things, the very person, one of the guys that I used to hit at Ellen, I don't know her second time it was a problem that I have problem with. But looking at to say you can compare George Weah 510 with Ellen, it's unbelievable. You know how many roads that Ellen built? How many institutions that Ellen built? Primary care that Ellen built up, that today primary care have been broken down. Then you talk about just paying student wire fee Where is the money coming from to put loan on us? Look at the loan. We are 100 and some more. 1 million and 1 million 150. Is that something to boast of? I
Okay.
thought it could be reducing, but
Let me
rather
go to the next.
our people. So
Let me
that's
go to
not
the next.
something to boast of, my sister. We all are looking at the future of our country. Look at the debt. When will that be paid? Ellen came, they erased the debt. Now it has gone. It will soon triple what we had that was erased. And then you talk
Thank
about
you so much. Let's go to the next person.
when you guys talking this thing, you look at the data. We don't come here to talk. We look at data to talk, to discuss issue, not to sit there and see one hospital bill where you don't even have nurses and doctors to maintain it. You don't even have money to upkeep that building or the hospital. The one that is standing there, JFK, you cannot even maintain JFK. You say you build hospital, and how are you going to maintain those hospitals? And you can't give account of those things. And you say,
All right, let me go to Madame
that's
Doku for her closing statements, Sisi, and then the Liberal Progressive will send home. I think the Liberal will be the last to. No. In fact, you're not even making statement. I remember last time you were on my back. You're not closing. Okay, Ty.
Thank you very much, Mr. So, for having me. I want to thank the panelists. But again, I will just reiterate here that the CDC, one of the best that Liberia has ever had. You can take it to the bank, you can go and argue, or I tell you, come October 10th, President George Manuel Weah will be re-elected based upon what he has done for the Liberian people. You can keep your statistic, your wherever you think you have. The Liberian people are looking at the deliverable. They are looking at what they are seeing, what this president is doing. What you're talking about, what happened in 1956, what happened in 1960, the Liberian people can see, they know. They are smart people. They will re-elect the president because he is the one that is changing their lives around. He the one who understands that because of wire feed children were not able to graduate from high school. He is the one that understands the situation that the Liberian people are going through. He is the one who understands what it means to develop a country, connectivity, roads, building roads, healthcare delivery system. He is the only person, and that is why President Weah will be re-elected. Mr. George, thank you very much for for having me on the show. Kawu, Sese, the labor, everybody. I will continue to come here whenever I have the time to defend the CDC-led government. I'm not a spokesperson, but I know this government is the best government for the Liberian people. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you so much. Don't you gotta listen to the last one also. Okay, Sister Goya, a strong supporter of Councillor Tiawan say Gonglo. Who can run, run. Who can run, stay.
So again, like I said, I apologize to the audience for coming on late. I had other things we're working on. But thanks to the panelists as usual. My sister, Mrs. Duopo, is a very good friend of mine, a very close sister. So we clash in love. And I want to say, one place that I appreciate her, and I want to say out here in the public is in this fight about the consulate closure. Madame Duopo issued a press statement that was not political. Saying that this thing affected all Liberians regardless of their political stripes. So, Madame Duopo, from me as a member of the board of directors of OLM, I want to give you your flowers publicly and say thank you. That was leadership in action, and we appreciate that. Now, having said that, I want to agree with Madame Duopo on a few more things. I was one of those young people in Liberia when George Weah would come to Liberia, would be running behind a convoy because he was one shiny spot in Liberia when the war was going on. I was one of those people who used to go in Zinc Shack in Fiamma, took out my shirt, hat to watch George Weah. As a matter of fact, I paid money to go watch George Weah wedding at a video club. That's how much we were in love with George Weah. But does that equate to giving him the presidency? I don't think so. The Lebron did that fine. Has he earned a re-election? I think I differ with the chair lady on that. You know, the chair lady talk about George Weah, whatever George Weah touches turn to go. I agree. I actually agree. Whatever George Weah touches turn to go. Just water star go. When you put on your name, swear on it with 10 green. You know, he touched the Hebrew education system, it became Worosago. He tried to bring 2,200 or 400 Nigerian teachers, it ain't happening at Worosago. He paid WAEC fee and say, well, you know, WAEC was the reason children was not graduating. But when people fail WAEC, you don't put any money into remedial. That's a Worosago. When you pay WAEC school fee and the passing rate has dropped dramatically under you, that's Worosago. When you say tuition-free education, but fees have increased, so the net money students are paying out of their pocket is higher than when you didn't have tuition-free, that's Worosago. When you tell the people say that we came here to lift you out of poverty, but you harmonize their pay so that they're making $45 per hour and per month, and you tell them say they want to live above their means, that's Worosago. So when you tell me to take that thing to some bank and go cash it there, it can't be CDC Bank because CDC Bank is bankrupt. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. The Liberal Progressive is a supporter of Ambassador Boyka. Did I hear you saying that he's going to stabilize the country?
Yes. I said I don't know them. I just admire them. So let's continue to clarify that, please. But look, let me just say this here tonight. What Madam Dopo appearance here on Brown Public, and I will encourage her to do this more and more whenever the time is there. But what it has shown to me tonight is that CDC, for some reason, I believe is like a court where no matter what, George Weah cannot be criticized from any of them. Any one of the CDC platform you go to, it seems like George Weah encourages these kinds of praise sinking so much that, in fact, he has put himself in a bubble because when you have people who are not willing to tell you the truth of what is happening, then you don't see it. You don't see anything. You go on any platform, people who are representing the CDC, they will not talk about policy. All they talk about is George Weah's personality, how great he is. And this is dangerous for our country because George Weah is a president for all of us. And we must be allowed to criticize him without being demonized ourselves by his supporters. And the supporters themselves, they are not doing a good job either. Because when they come out to say he's the best ever, what yardstick are you using? Best ever to what? You know, those are things that I will advise our brothers and sisters from the CDC camp to actually think about it before they come out and make these statements. But then again, I don't blame them because the kinds of rumors you hear about CDC club, I will call it. If you don't say something nice about the president, they castigate you and sweep you aside. And so many of these people, they want to have some sort of a connection. And so they will do that. But I'll tell you guys one thing, though. Once this election is over, I think the amount of psychiatrists that will be visiting Liberians' sedition houses here in the United States, I don't think the federal government can even afford them because people will be sick. Sedition will be sick. In their mind, they will be sick. I mean, it will be unbelievable. So let us all, those of us that believe in Jesus Christ, let's continue to pray for them that they will heal very quickly once the election is over and that they will come to their senses and they will be back in the community as they used to be and be a good citizen as they once were. But right now, they are not good citizens as far as I'm concerned because they're giving us something that is not truthful. Thank you and good night.
Okay. This is the Liberia Public Radio. All of these folks you see, they have a political pick. Their views, their opinions, their assertions does not in any way represent the voice of this network. I am the only independent guy, the liberal in multiple places. Amos Joy, oh, Koto Jala, pour one for so, pour one so. So when the big biker, the big
wait. You say where the money Koto Jala? The money Koto Jala?
Frederick, please tell the papi.
I thought you muted. But hey, by the way,
John, what happened?
Wilton Keto Samotea, this thing, he called me on the phone. He said, I didn't send you the link today. You wanted to be here, so your day will come back.
Yeah,
Man, he been on AWOL, man. He been missing action. Don't mind him. Okay, guys, I want to thank you so much for your time, your energy, your passion, and for what you do for Liberia. And to the audience, please understand these people represent different institutions, so there will be rough edges. And that's what we do on this network. We don't necessarily pivot in your direction that things that you want to hear, those are things that you will hear. All of them strongly believes, the passions, the policy, whether we agree or disagree, we allow people to speak. And you are the deciding factor into this whole thing. Guys, another report, I want to say thank you so much. You are adding another pageant. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon and then to have you back here, Sister Goyot, in a few. The Liberal Progressive Koto, thank you for chipping in.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Thank you for having me.
We'll see you on Friday, Costas.
Hopefully, I gotta go make sure we do the petitioning of the president to beg him to run again.
You going back?
And we gotta figure it out, but it's in the
Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Don't wait, yeah. Don't wait, my brother, don't wait. My sister, don't wait.
No one will be left behind in the conversations of Liberia. Whether we agree or disagree, that's the beauty of democracy. Even right here in the USA, there's so many networks here. You go to Newsmax, you go to Fox, you go to CNN, and you go to other different networks. You are in a different world by itself. We should not crucify or execute people of their political beliefs. We can engage them. We can have a conversation. Just how you so dearly support your choice as well. And as much some of those people make some bad choices, but you don't criticize them. You don't challenge them. You don't raise your finger. So think about that. They are also in that political government. But until we can all learn to have a civil conversation and be a little bit concrete in our thoughts, into our argument and our abstracts, comes up with facts, it will be good. But all of those who have a political pick, there is something on their belt, unknown, that you would never know. They will defend, protect at all cost. Even if it is to the detriment of the country, they will do it. The innuendos, the falsehood, the subliminal messages, the propaganda, everything will be injected into the conversation. And that's how their leaders behave as well. The free war president told the media, not whatever everything that you hear, don't believe it. Do not believe that. Not everything you hear is true. So what do you think about our country? But we must be able to have this quiet and civil conversation to see where they are coming from and the direction that they are going. That will give us a sense of where we are heading as a people and as a nation. The more we discuss those issues, the better it becomes to find a workable solution to our problems. And this is why we don't necessarily discuss or talk an issue that you intend or you want to hear. There will be some bizarre things that you'll be hearing on this network, because we want everybody all to empty what is within their belly. We don't want nobody holding back, because when something is held back, it is very difficult to know what exactly the outburst of something or issue is more dangerous than when you hear it. When you hear it, you deal with it, you cope with it, you overcome it, you find a solution to it. But if it is withheld, trust me, then there's an unknown doctor. even if you have that doctor who is qualified to handle it. I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to thank you so much. Hopefully making that preparation to be in Minneapolis this weekend, a major town hall meeting with respect to GOL to recent position of the closures of the consulate. But it's fair to say now it's been put on hold for the next 3 months. The consequential questions becomes what next after 3 months? What is the message of the delegations? What are the preparations? What led to this decision? Was it a political ploy to get attractions or score some political point? I do not intend and will not be judgmental until I hear from myself the answers or provisions that will be provided that even led to that decision. But it is fair to say that the government to reconsider her decision to engage, to talk, and have a leadership conference with OLM and the people in Minnesota. That is said, we must applaud that. We must always give room to negotiation, to conversations. And exactly that's what the government is doing. The question now becomes, what is the white flag that is coming to this table? These and many more we hope to unearth, uncover, and report that live in a hall this Saturday. God first. Until then, I am Alfonso Zienso. Do not manage crisis. Avoid crisis because you are not noted. You are not good at managing crisis. So why would you want to create crisis in the first place? And this is why the Queen men say prevention is better than cure. It's also applicable to that. You're not good at managing. So don't create a situation that you know you can definitely manage. Thank you so much for your time, your comments, your tweets, your interaction. Keeps us going. Get us to do what we are doing. We respect your views, your opinion. However, we'll play with you on this network. Civility is the hallmark of this network. It is the way to find a solution. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me, but let's sit at a conference table and put our points through and see what is applicable for the good of our country. Have a pleasant night. I will see you when I see you. Bye-bye.
DJ Square Production Classic today. Oh, don't wait. Don't wait, don't wait. Don't wait. Oh, yeah, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Don't wait, yeah. Don't wait. Don't wait, my brother, don't wait. Don't wait. My sister, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I'm in the hospital, don't wait. Don't wait. I'm dying, don't wait. Don't wait. I need your help, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Please help me, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait, don't wait, don't wait. Don't wait. I need you help me now, don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Don't wait till I die. Before you help me, if you want to help me right now. Don't wait, oh sister, don't wait. I said don't wait, my brethren, don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Before you help me, I need your help. Help me right now. I'm in the hospital, lying on my sick bed. I just need you to help me one my life, and Jehovah will bless you. Don't wait till I die to rain cast and carry my body to the grave. I said don't wait when I die before you praise me. Don't wait when I die. I just wanna die.